Hi there. So today, let's just chat. How's that? Can we chat? I've recently been reminded of the spiral of life that we go through, the phases, how it goes round and round, and how to prepare for the downs while we're in the ups, not waiting for them. So there's this this thought process of everything's going good. Shh, don't say anything. Don't curse it, right? Don't scare it away. And let's just ride this wave until we go back down again, until something else happens, until there's another tragedy, until there's another. And the problem with that is when things do come up, when life does happen, that we no longer have the energy or ability to effectively do the things that help us make it through those times, or the ability to remember what those tools are that help us so much, or even ask for help, or whatever that may be. So here's the deal. When you're in the good times, are you in a good time? Are you in a good, springtime traditionally is a good time for many people, right? That's usually, like, these days are getting longer. um, the sun is coming out, it's brighter, it's warmer, we're outside more, getting more vitamin D and more exercise. Um, there's just more activity in the air, especially this year that springtime is, in conjunction with vaccines and getting out there and being mobile and all that kind of stuff, right? So this is, for many, many people, probably most, this is a good time, right? So now's the time. Like, now is the time when you do have the energy, the clarity, the mental strength, the emotional strength to sit down and ask yourself some hard questions. Not necessarily hard questions, actually not hard. That's the point, is that they're not hard when you're in the good times. So ask yourself the questions of, what are the symptoms of my not being great? What are the symptoms of, anxiety, depression, the blues, whatever you want to call them for yourself? Like, what are the symptoms of not feeling great? What are the physiological symptoms? Like, what are the symptoms? Do you lose sleep? Do you sweat more? Do you have pains, aches and pains in your body that pop up when you're not feeling great? What are the physiological symptoms? What are the mental symptoms? What are the thought symptoms? What are the thoughts that start to eke their way into your vocabulary, into your thoughts, into, your decision-making processes that don't eke their way in when you're feeling well? They kind of, that's when they show up, is when you're not feeling super duper strong. What are those thoughts? What are those physiological symptoms? What are those emotional symptoms? What are the reactions? How do you react when you're not feeling super great? Like, really take note of what those symptoms are so that they are more readily recognizable to you and others. So ask yourself, what are the symptoms of when you're not doing great? Ask yourself, what does your support system look like? Who can you lean on? Who can you ask for help? Who can recognize these symptoms in you when you're not able to see them for yourself? So, what are your symptoms? Who is your support system and in what way? And write all this down, like on paper, write all this down. And what are some solutions? What are some things that have helped you in the past? Are there supplements to take? Are there physical things to do? Are there mental exercises? Like, do certain books get you out? Like, certain, yeah, certain types of books, be it, you know, vacation-y type of books, or they just take you down a great story? Or is there a subject matter that when you read them, they brighten you up, or they empower you to make movement? What are the things that have worked for you in the past? How can you make sure you're getting enough sleep? How can you make sure that you're eating properly? How can you make sure you're getting enough exercise and movement? How can you make sure that you're taking care of yourself? And what are the things that you know with surety from the past have boosted you out of being in a place that you're not quite as productive or as empowered as you would like to be? So again, I know that I'm taking us down a windy road, but again, just get some pen and paper when you're in the good times. Write out what are all the symptoms. How do you recognize when you're not in the good times? Write out your support system, who they are and how they can support you. And write out what are some solutions. What are the things that you know maturity have helped you in the past? And then the last thing to do while you're still in the good time, when you're still doing this, is take the time to reach out to your support network. Take the time now when you're feeling good to reach out to them. Let them know what the symptoms are. Let them know what helps you. Let them know, like, what is it? Like, is it when you disappear from social media? Is that the time that they should maybe come on over and take you out for a walk? Or is it when your social media posts end up in a different mood than they normally are? Is that your sign? If talking with you, do you bring up again those other thoughts or whatever it is? Let them know what the signs are so that they can recognize them probably before you can. And let them know what the solutions are so that they can help support you when you're not strong enough to remember what those solutions are. So that's my tip for today. Hopefully, you are in a good place and have the energy to follow through with this tip at this time. And if not, no worries. Do what you can. Do what you can with this information. And maybe just, bookmark it, save it, like it, do whatever you need to do to save this for at a time when you do have the energy to follow through with it. It won't take long. 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't take long. If it does feel too big, do it in bite-sized pieces, set a timer for 10 minutes and only do what you need to do for 10 minutes and then move on. But do get it on paper, get yourself prepared for the next time because you know it's going to happen. Life happens, it's going to come around again. So prep now in the good times to prep for the other times. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what your tidbits are. And listen, for real, like sometimes your symptoms and sometimes your ways out, your solutions are some things that some of us haven't thought of before. So please share them, share your symptoms, share your solutions so that others can learn from you too. So that's your tidbit for the week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.